I can't sleep because it is currently 4 minutes past 4 in the morning. I woke up full of all this kind of nervous energy, and I decided to talk about something that I've wanted to talk about for a very long time. I want to do a really detailed account of what a day looked like in late stage alcoholism for me. Brothers, sisters, comrades and friends, welcome to Bad Country. So what did the average day look like when I was deep into a binge in the very worst part of my chronic alcoholism? Well, to answer that and to explain it, I've picked a real day. This particular day that I'm going to describe, I was living in Berlin. I was 37 years old, and I'd already had a severe drinking problem for about 5 years at this point. I'd also had a minor traumatic brain injury, and it's debatable how much that has contributed to my alcoholism. In my opinion, it accelerated my problem and also contributed to much more severe withdrawal symptoms and delirium tremens. I've now been sober, coming on for 2 years, completely sober. I've been struggling with sobriety for about 5. The last 2 years I've been completely sober, and 2 years is enough time to make you start to forget how bad it really was. And that's why on nights like tonight, where I'm feeling slightly depressive and unsettled, and there's a 24-hour shop across the road from me, which is always a temptation, it's good to spend some time doing this, talking about how awful it was, because it nearly killed me, and I need to be reminded every now and then. So, let's get started. I've picked an arbitrary 24-hour period from 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. And it could be any day of the week, because this deep into a binge, all the days look the same. They all meld into one. You can't distinguish one day from another. Every day is the weekend. Every day is a Sunday, when you've given up all of your responsibilities and your only ambition is to drink yourself to death as quickly as possible. That's the level of drinking that we're going to discuss. I would wake up at 6 a.m. and not because I was disciplined, obviously, and not even because I wanted to get up early, but because withdrawal had already started. So the desire for alcohol, my body's need for alcohol, would wake me up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'd wake up with an urge to drink straight away. That's how I would start my day, is needing to drink. And without even opening my eyes, I would kind of run my hands around my head in the bed, under the sheets and under the pillows, looking for a bottle of vodka which would be left there from the night before, because the night before I would have fallen asleep with the bottle in the bed. If I don't find it straight away, there will be a moment of panic. As so strong is the compulsion to drink immediately, that if I don't feel the glass, if one of my rings doesn't clink against the glass in the bed, that's going to be a problem, because it might mean I have to get up, maybe even go out, and I need that drink straight away. So, without even sitting up, I will grab the bottle, and it'll be like just some anonymous cheap vodka like Grant's, or more likely to be one of those vaguely Russian sounding vodkas that aren't really Russian, but it'll be like Rachmaninoff or Tchaikovsky. If I was feeling fancy, if it was a payday, it would be Zubrovka, the vodka with the grass, the bison grass. But towards the end of a binge, I was never feeling fancy, and it was the cheapest bottle that I could get my hands on. So it's Grant's, or it's Popov, or it's Rachmaninoff, or it's, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. And even before I sat up in bed, I would already be drinking it. It will be 2 big slugs lying on my side. Like I'd be curled up in a fetal position, drinking sideways. just to get the alcohol, just to get my body started enough to sit up. And I'm not rested. It's not a good night's sleep. I wake up both drunk and withdrawing at the same time. And I need those first 2 drinks just to give me the stability to sit upright and go to the bathroom. And how much I need to go to the bathroom will depend largely on whether I pissed myself in my sleep. So I'll check my sheets to see if they're wet. And there were periods of normal drunkenness before this really late stage binge drinking, where that kind of wetting the bed and stuff wasn't a major problem. But at this stage, it's a problem every day, and throwing up too. So my tolerance for alcohol was, and probably still is, very high, and I was never much of a puker. But when it gets to this level, when you wake up and the room is still dark, and you are still drunk from the night before, but you are also in withdrawals, then vomiting becomes a problem. And quite often, after those first 2 swigs of vodka, I would just roll to the side of the bed and just throw up straight on the floor. Because I haven't really eaten any food for a week. Nothing substantial, just like candy and sweets and ice pops and stuff. No actual food. There's nothing to throw up but the vodka. And I will look over the side of the bed at this puddle of vodka vomit on the floor. And instead of thinking, wow, this is unhealthy, the thought that's in my head is, look at all that wasted vodka. And then I'll drink to replace that. The reason why there's vodka left in the bed is because that was my MO. Well, I would do that deliberately. I would buy enough alcohol through the day that there would be enough left over. I would fall asleep or lose consciousness with enough left over for the morning, so that I could drink it immediately, so that I could function enough to go buy more. So there'd be about a third, and when I'm talking about bottles of vodka, I'm either talking about the 70 centilitre bottles or litre bottle. So it's those kind of volumes. It's never anything less than 70 centilitres. And I'll swing my legs over the side of the bed so I'm sitting up, and I'll grab the bottle and a vape thing as well. So I'll be hitting the vape as well, just restoring all of my addictions as soon as I wake up. And I'll try to stand to go to the bathroom. And I'm in a bad way. I haven't had a thought yet. Like at this point, I've been awake for like 10 minutes, and there hasn't really been a thought in my head. It's all like instinct. I'm acting on kind of routine is a better word. I'm just on autopilot. There hasn't been a single thought in my head. There is nothing like, here's what I need to do today, or here's how I'm feeling, or here's what happened yesterday. There isn't there's nothing in my brain. And I'm disgusting as well. Like, I'm just so gross. Because I'm already in withdrawal, there is a constant layer of sweat, of like beads of sweat, especially on my face. And one of the first things that I'll do after I've had the first couple of drinks and maybe thrown up on the floor is I'll wobble off to the bathroom to kind of put some cold water on my face and have a pee, maybe, if I need one. And I'm so unsteady. Like, when I'm walking to the bathroom, I'll have the bottle in one hand, because that's the most important thing to me. That is precious to me. It's like, that's the reason why I was bitter when I threw up on the floor. It's because the vodka that I threw up is precious. So I've got that in my hand, and then the rest, with my other hand, I'm steadying myself on the bookcases and against the walls, just to guide me to the toilet. And I'll kind of pee if I have to. But then I'll look at myself in the mirror to kind of take stock of the progress of the binge. And I'll look in the mirror, and my eyes will be not bloodshot, but like glowing red. Like I'm wearing red eyeliner, and they sting. and my pupils are weird. Like one is bigger than the other because of like the head injury that I have. But when I'm drinking, it's worse. It's called anisocoria. It's when your pupil is different size. So normally, if you look at me right now, you wouldn't really notice a difference. But when I've been drinking, one is like a pinprick and the other is like a coin. And that's not a good sign, is it? My hair will be greasy, my beard will be completely all over the place, and I'll be swaying while I try to look myself in the eye in the mirror. And my skin will be pale, and even when I put cold water on my face to try to refresh myself slightly, I'll just sweat it right off again. Like this kind of, this layer of like alcoholism sweat never goes away. You can't wipe it away, it just reappears. And I stink because I haven't had a shower. This binge that I'm describing is probably at least 2 weeks long. So let's assume that I'm 14 days into this binge. And I haven't had a shower this whole time. And it's just poison leaving my body. All of the toxins just seeping out through my pores for 2 weeks, just sweating off old sweat. I am a mess, and I know it. And part of the reason why I haven't had a shower is, one, because your hygiene just doesn't matter when you're drinking as obliteratively as that. You just don't care. You don't care about anything. But also, I'm just not steady enough to stand up in a shower. I'm just not. Like, the thought of being in a shower and closing my eyes while I'm in that condition actually makes me anxious even now. I can imagine myself slipping and falling, and that would be the end of me. And that's a really pathetic way to go. And my clothes are disgusting too. It's not just my body, it's the fact that I haven't changed for 2 weeks. I'm wearing probably the same pair of jeans with no underwear and the same t-shirt, and I've been wearing it for 2 weeks. And the reason why I'm wearing jeans is that I slept in my clothes, and because I'm so unstable, I can't take them off. I can't take off my own trousers when I'm in that condition. I just can't. It's like I'm probably wearing my shoes as well. I'll be wearing my shoes because I might have tried to take them off the night before and discovered that I can't. I will fall over, or I don't have the dexterity, the balance to take off my shoes. It's like, I feel like I'm describing a toddler. And once I will probably brush my teeth, because brushing my teeth makes me feel normal. It's just one of those tiny ways that I lie to myself that I am okay, is that if I brush my teeth, then I'm ready for the day, and nobody can criticize me because I've prepared. I might run some cold water through my hair and my beard as well. But next, I'll step out of the bathroom and drink more as well. And by now it's probably about 6:30, and I'm already planning which shop to go to buy more alcohol. And once I'm out of the bathroom, I'll drink a little bit more as well. And that will just about stop my body screaming at me. That will just about take the worst of the withdrawal symptoms away for now. And then I'll go back to bed, and I have to kind of step over the various puke on the floor. And then generally, if I've peed the bed, then I'll have to find an area on the bed that's still dry. This is so bad. I can't believe I'm admitting all of this on the internet. So generally, like, I'll be pressed up against the wall, lying on my side, taking up as little room as I possibly can, with the bottle still in bed. And then I'll wake up again in an hour or two. In sobriety, the first thing that I do when I wake up is I put the coffee on and check my emails. But when I'm this deep into a really serious annihilation binge like the one I'm describing, the coffee machine will be mouldy because I haven't cleaned it for like a month. It's covered in this kind of orange mould. That orange mould is a really good indicator of how long I've been in the binge. The more mould, the worse the binge. And I won't check my emails because I'm terrified. Like the thought, like I have a job. During this binge that I'm describing, I had a job. And the thought of opening my emails and seeing so many people scared for me or looking for me, and so many responsibilities that I'm hiding from. That's the point of the binge, is to hide from all of that stuff. So instead, I'll finish the rest of the vodka that's in the bottle. The immediate preoccupation, the whole, not just of the morning that I'm describing, of my entire life, is the acquisition and the consumption of alcohol. So I'm thinking about where I'm going to get it from, what's going to be open at this time, where is okay to buy it from at 8 o'clock in the morning, like what kind of shop is open to buy vodka from to buy 2 litres of vodka from at 8 o'clock in the morning. So that's the next step, is going out to get more. Earlier in the binge, and earlier in my alcoholism, I used to be very judicious about which shops I was going to, and I would purposely never go to the same shop 2 days in a row, for fear of judgment of the shop staff, for some kind of bizarre fear that they might know I'm an alcoholic, which of course they do, and also they don't care. Like, when you're an alcoholic, you're so selfish that you think you're the only customer, you're the only person that they think about. But anyway, deep into the binge, that stops mattering. I no longer care. I no longer fear judgment. I don't care. I'll go to the same shop every day. And in this particular time, this binge experience that I'm describing, there was a 24-hour garage, and I would go there at any time of day in, day out. I just didn't care anymore. So that's where I'm going to go. So what I'll do, if I haven't already, is I'll finish completely the vodka, because I need as much alcohol to give me the stability to go outside. And I will run water through my hair and through my beard, and I won't dry it. And the reason for that, in my weird alcoholic brain, is that when I'm outside, I want it to look like I've just had a shower, even though I haven't. It's some weird neurosis about, like, I want to pretend that I'm cleaner than I am, when it would just be so much easier to just have a shower. It'd be much easier to just not be an alcoholic. So I'll be wet, and that will also, like, it will give me an excuse to cover up how much I'm sweating as well, because I'll be sweating through my clothes. Hopefully I'll already be wearing shoes or boots or something, but if I'm not, I'll have to fight with shoes to get them on, because I'm so incapable. Throw on a jacket. And then where I was living in Berlin, I was living in this attic of this old mansion in a suburb of Berlin, and there was a big staircase, like a very narrow staircase. I'm not sure if it's just me, but going downstairs when I'm drinking, when I'm in active alcoholism, is a major problem for me. Walking downstairs I have to go like 1 foot, 1 step at a time with both feet, and holding onto a railing. I'm just so unsteady. I don't trust myself. And the thing about 8 o'clock in the morning is that that's when people are going to work. And I don't want to meet people. I don't want to see people. Being in a busy place when you're in this condition is the worst. Because one of the things that comes with the brutality of this early morning withdrawal, is huge paranoia and anxiety and social discomfort, even more than my baseline, and I'm already bad for that. But crowds of busy people, when all you want to do is lock yourself away in the room and drink yourself to unconsciousness in complete privacy, there's nothing worse. So I'll go across to the 24-hour garage, and this 24-hour garage only sold litre bottles of vodka. I will buy 2 of those, and one of those is for the daytime, and the other one is for the evening and the following morning. So 2 at a time. And I will also buy like a bag of Haribo or some kind of candy, just so I can have some... I've got no taste for food, I've got no appetite, but I am aware that I need to be putting things in my body. Because I'm drinking so heavily, I have an urge for sugar, and that's all I will eat throughout the day, is I'll just kind of graze on Haribo. But this bit of buying the alcohol, it's almost fun. And at this point, I'm going to just acknowledge that I think that what I'm saying is probably triggering to other binge drinking people in recovery. And maybe I'll come back to that in a minute. But that's on you. If this is a story that's triggering to you, that's really on you. I'm not going to apologise for it. I'm just going to tell you the truth of what my experience was like. So brace yourself. This is also going to sound quite triggering, I think. The process of buying the alcohol, at some point in the binge at least, is kind of fun. It was the bit that I looked forward to most, especially if I was doing it at 3 o'clock in the morning instead of about 8 o'clock in the morning. Walking the streets when they were empty at night and getting absolutely blasted was a real kind of secret thrill of mine when I was drinking. Just like there was something slightly ecstatic about it, something euphoric, something kind of sexy, like almost voyeuristic about it, of going to a window of a 24-hour gas station and having this interaction through the bulletproof glass, of picking vodka and exchanging money for it, and then wandering off into the darkness and observing the world. There was a kind of sexy voyeurism about it, of feeling like an outsider observing the world at night, and then the process of walking from the gas station back to the apartment and drinking heavily on the way so that I would be drunk by the time I got home. But that's not what was going on this day. This day, I am buying 2 litres of vodka in rush hour traffic at going to work time, and the feeling of shame that comes with that when you're stood at the queue in the gas station in clothes that you've been wearing for 2 weeks, and you're swaying heavily, and you feel like everybody knows, and you feel like they can smell it, and they're all judging you, and everybody else is wearing a suit and tie and going about their lives, and they're driving. Whereas if you got in a car, it would literally be a crime. They're just going about their days, and you stand there and you're full of resentment for everybody around you. Why can't I be like that? Why am I like this? Why am I not like them? There is an incredible sense of shame about buying that level of booze at 8 o'clock in the morning when everybody else is going to work. And yet, I did it anyway. I just swallowed the shame because I didn't care. So I'd step outside the gas station or the shop. In Germany, there's a thing called a Spati, which is like a 24-hour alcohol shop, basically. It would be one of those sometimes. And I would try to find somewhere discreet, like away from the road. It didn't really matter because I didn't really care. But the first thing I would do, because the journey to the shop has it's been about 15 minutes since I've had an alcoholic drink. So naturally, the first thing that I need to do now that I have it is drink it. So I crack the bottle open. Like I would hide it behind my jacket. Like I would stand away from the road. And if there was a road with traffic on it, I would drink it behind my jacket, as if no one's going to notice. And I would drink a big one so that I could walk home. And then I would wander home, kind of staring at my feet, avoiding eye contact with anybody. God forbid I see anybody that I know. Or I bump into my landlord. In this house that I was in Berlin, the landlord lived downstairs, and if I'd have known that when I'd signed the contract, I wouldn't have moved in, because it's a horrible situation. Don't live with your landlord. I can feel it now, the anxiety in me now, walking back towards that house, and the fear of bumping into my landlord. I hadn't done anything wrong, like I was paying the rent and I wasn't a terrible tenant. Actually I was, but I kept getting the police called and ambulances and stuff. People doing welfare checks on me. It must have been a drain on them, on the landlords, but the thought of bumping into them in that condition, even now, makes my heart race a little bit. And I'll wobble back up the stairs and back up into my den. And from this point on, everything becomes interchangeable. There's no set order of events of what happens next. But generally, I'm going to go to my desk and open my computer, turn my computer on, and then just go straight to YouTube. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be looking for videos that make me sad or make me emotional in some way. I used to do this all the time. This is how I kind of started my day in a binge, is wanting to feel an emotion. So I would plonk the vodka. I'd put one in the kitchen and I'd bring the other one. And by the way, this whole time I'm never ever drinking from a glass. This is entirely from the bottle. And I'll sit there with the bottle open and I'll vape. And I'll bring up videos of dogs being reunited with their owners after a long period of time. And I will cry my eyes out. I'll drink, and for an hour or so, I will just watch things deliberately to make me cry. And after that hour or so, I will have got to a kind of plateau of drunkenness where I've drunk enough that I feel kind of normal, but I haven't yet drunk so much that I'm really drunk again, even though I am. This is 10 o'clock in the morning and I've already drunk more than most people drink in a week. And I've had a good cry. And so my day has started well. And now I kind of feel a sense of equilibrium. I'm steady on my feet again. I feel kind of normal. Just there's a brief window where everything kind of balances out, where everything kind of jams together. You know, when Mr. Burns goes to the doctor and they discover he's got so many diseases that they all just kind of cancel each other out. That's my drinking. I've somehow found that perfect balance where it's kind of balancing it. The levels are normalized. This window, it doesn't last very long, but this is the time when I'm going to convince myself that this is the day that I turn it all around. So for half an hour, I might actually be productive. It's pretty rare, but I might change my clothes, but I will feel kind of positive for a moment. Okay, this is the last day that I'm going to be drinking. I'm feeling good right now. I'll just finish the last of the alcohol that I have, and then we'll get this sorted out. This is where it ends. I can do this. But that window, it doesn't last long, because I'm still hammering the vodka, and very quickly it fades. And then that's the worst bit, is that come down after feeling okay for a moment. And it's a very, very, very deep trough. And that's where the real drinking of the day begins. And there comes in that period, because that window is the only window of the day where I'm quite lucid. Immediately afterwards, I'm still lucid enough to understand how terrible my position is. And for half an hour I'll feel okay, but then immediately after that I'll remember that I have probably lost my job, that my family are probably terrified, that my girlfriend is probably leaving me, in the process of leaving me, that I have no job to go to, which means that I have no way to pay the rent at the end of the month, that my life is a mess, that I've fucked everything up, I've let everyone down, and the only cure for me that I know is not to address any of those problems, is to address the symptom by drinking. You see, I'm not I'm not looking for a cure. I'm not looking for a solution to my problems. I'm looking for an anesthetic so that I don't feel the problems. And I'll drink a lot very quickly, really quickly. I'll drink a big slug of vodka to kind of to anesthetize that sudden drop into depression. And then I'll black out for a while, probably. When I wake up again, it's gonna be about midday, and the sun will be coming through the windows. So I'll close all the curtains, and I'll go back to the computer. I'll sit at my desk, usually, and I'll just watch brain rot and drink in the dark, having shut out the day, having shut out all of the life outside. I'll just sit in the dark and just watch brain rot, TikTok compilations, and anything familiar. I'll watch the same thing that I've seen 1,000 times, like old World War II documentaries or some retro gaming video that I've seen 1,000,000 times. And that is a symptom of anxiety. If you're watching the same stuff over and over again, it's because it's predictable, and therefore it's not a threat. If you're the kind of person who binge watches exactly the same thing over and over and over again, then you probably have an anxiety disorder of some kind. That's a real big tell that you might have anxiety. That's what I'm doing. It's just watching nothing in particular and drinking. And at some point, just as there was a window of lucidity at 10 o'clock in the morning or something, there will also be a window of normal drunkenness a couple of hours later. Chronic binge drinking alcoholism drunkenness is not like Saturday night drunkenness. It's a plateau of drunkenness where you don't get more drunk. There comes a point where your tolerance is so high that you cannot drink enough to get you really drunk. You just black out instead. But there'll be another little window of actual drunkenness, which is kind of a slightly more characteristic of normal drunkenness, where I'll walk around the apartment listening to music loud and kind of being weird, talking to myself out loud and laughing manically, and spinning around. I think I talked about this in a previous video, where I would do this weird thing where I would want to feel the drunkenness. I'd want to feel the effect of the alcohol. Such was my relationship with alcohol. I felt like I needed to feel it working. So I would make myself dizzy by spinning around and then falling over. Very, very weird behaviour. And with this period of actual drunkenness, kind of drunkenness, rather than weird binge drunkenness, there might come an hour or so where I'm horny. I'm sorry, Mum, if you're watching this, but I've got to talk about this stuff. I have an obligation to be honest. And I will watch porn or something. Or worse, I will try to get laid with either people that I've previously hooked up with, or I'll be on before I met my girl. The binge I'm describing is before I met my girlfriend. I'll be on hookup apps, just trying to find anyone who's walking distance from me. But who would want to fuck that? What a state. But the truth is, by that stage I am too out of it to do anything anyway. I can't, if I'm watching porn, I probably can't, I can't finish. And that's depressing too. And that's a really pathetic thing to imagine. I hate thinking of myself like that. Of kind of just sat in an office chair with a half-empty bottle of vodka, barely able to focus on the obscenity that I'm watching with my jeans open and not really able to do anything about it. And if I pray to God that I haven't messaged someone that I actually know, and then that is low. That's a low point. Yeah. But that will pass. Like, that horniness will just get drunk. I'll drink that away, just like I drank away everything else. Like I drank away the emotions earlier in the day. I'll drink away the horniness and nothing will happen. But that might go on for a long time. Like, I might try to do that for a while, because it gives my day some direction, if nothing else. Like, sex is a good motivator, and without it, like without the horniness, I don't think there would be anything in my day. I doubt I would leave the bed, because otherwise this would be a very boring video. There is a version of this day in the life of a chronic alcoholic in which I just don't get out of bed at all. I just lie in the bed with the vodka and don't even move, just sleep through the entire day. That is a valid version of this video, but not a very interesting one. Okay, so I'll go to bed. I'll go back to bed for a while. Probably black out, sleep, lose consciousness, in and out for the rest of the day, because I've now drunk quite a lot. And then perhaps about 6 p.m. will come around and I'll wake up, and now I am shaking. There's a thing about withdrawal that most people don't know, and it's that if you are drinking at the kind of levels that I'm describing, which is like at least 70 centilitres of vodka or more per day, if you're drinking that amount day in, day out, and then one day you drink slightly less than that amount, you can still get severe withdrawal symptoms, even though you're drinking enough to get the average person absolutely blitzed. And despite the level of alcohol you're putting in your body, you can still have withdrawal symptoms. And that's going to be happening to me at about 6 p.m. And I'm also going to be extremely hungry, because all I've eaten is bags of Haribo. So I'm wired from the sugar. The sugar is crashing. I'm withdrawing. I haven't eaten anything substantial in 2 weeks. So maybe at this point, I'll be trying to order a pizza to arrive, to be delivered. Barely able to see the app on my phone. Barely able to pick the things that I want. It's going to be a surprise when it arrives, because I'm just kind of like thumbing drunkenly at my phone. And I'll probably fall asleep again, black out again, and not hear it when it arrives. This happened a lot, where I would order food and then black out, and then they just can't get hold of me anymore because I'm literally unconscious. So the food is taken away, and then maybe when I wake up again, I forget that I ordered it, and that cycle of no nutrition continues. Let's say that I have eaten something. Let's say a pizza does arrive and I eat it. I might have another window of feeling kind of okay again. And I might go out. I might decide like an evening walk with a bottle of vodka might be what I need. And I've done this a couple of times where I would leave the apartment, I'd put on a jacket, I'd put on like a shoulder bag with the vodka in it, and then I don't remember any of it. I would wake up in hospital the next day. Somehow, like, I would go out, drink, black out, and then some member of the public, some good Samaritan, wouldn't be able to wake me up, and an ambulance would be called. So that's one version of how this day ends. But more often, I would walk around the streets, only for like an hour or so, trying to recapture that feeling of like being on the outside of society, of kind of observing, of wanting to be on the outside of large groups, simultaneously a part of the society and also external to it. I'm not sure why I was always pursuing that feeling, but I was. It's a feeling of wanting to be isolated, of wanting to be lonely. That's what I was chasing. Back at home in the apartment, that's really the end of the day. Okay, so now, once I'm back, I'm just going to retreat straight to the bed. So I'm going to bring everything that I need to the bed, and it's going to be like my laptop. It's going to be all of the vodka, vape, snacks like Haribo and the sweets and stuff, and make a kind of like little isolated nest for myself, and just lie on my front and drink myself unconscious in the bed. And by then I'm so drunk that I don't care that the mattress is wet from the night before. I don't really care about anything. Just in the dark, drinking to oblivion. And throughout the night, alcohol sleep is not restful sleep, so I'll wake up, and every now and then wake up, have a swig, go back to sleep. But that's really it. That's what a day actually looked like. There's nothing dramatic in there. Nothing particularly unexpected. But towards the end of a binge that long, there is nothing unexpected. Every day is the same. Getting out of bed is a successful day in a binge that severe. Because the ultimate goal of a binge that severe is to not ever come out of it. That's the purpose. Is to stay in it until it kills you. And that's what I was trying to do anyway. And then I'll go back to sleep. Except it's not sleep, there are no dreams. It's just like a gap until the withdrawal wakes me up again at 6 o'clock the following morning. No rest. And I'll wake up the following morning with my heart pounding again, sweating bullets, and do it all again. Okay, so I'm sorry if that was triggering. I'm not going to apologise for that, because you're in control of your triggers. And if a story that grim makes you want to drink, you should assess why that is. I just wanted to get that off my chest, really. Been meaning to do this for a while. And what better time than 4 o'clock on a Sunday morning? So, as always, thank you for watching, and good luck out there.